One of the important things you have to take note in solving a matrix problem is the order of the matrix. You get, the order of the matrix is very important as far as you're going to talk about matrix, or as far as you're solving any problem involving matrix. The order of the matrix must be taken note of, because we know that the matrix is represented in rows and in columns. So therefore, since we are talking about the rows and columns, the order of the matrix is very important. Now, what is the order of a matrix? The order of a matrix is the way in which the matrix is arranged. Now, we know earlier that matrix is arranged in rows and columns. Now, what are the order of the rows and what are the order of columns that this particular matrix is represented by? Now, you need to know that matrix is represented by n rows by m columns. Now, it is represented by n rows by n columns. In other words, we can call this to be n times n by n. So if I want to say a matrix is represented, let's just bring an example. If you have an example and you have A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, what is the order at which this matrix is being arranged? We say the matrix is arranged based on the rows and the columns. Take note of that. So if we have this now, what are the rows? The rows here is A and D, B and E, C and F. So therefore we have 1 row, 2 rows, and what? 3 rows. So if this matrix A now is represented by this is equal to 3 rows. We have gotten 3 rows. Not just rows, we need to know the columns. Now, how many columns? A, B, C is 1 column. D, E, F is another column. So we have 1 and 2 columns. So this is 2 columns. And take note, we said a matrix is represented in rows and what? Columns. So if we have 3 rows and we have 2 columns, we said it's represented by n rows by m columns. So if you have n times n, that means this is the same thing as 3 by 2. You get? This is 3 by 2. So the order of which this matrix is being arranged now is called 3 by 2. In other words, we can say 3 rows by 2 columns. Now, what if you say 2 by 2? How are you going to form that? If a matrix is represented in the form of, let's say, 2 by 2, this is the same thing as 2 rows multiplied by what? 2 columns. Take note, if it's 2 by 2, that means 2 rows by 2 columns. If it's 3 by 2, that means 3 rows by 2 columns. So if you have 2 by 2, that means your matrix is going to come out in this format: A, B, C, D, because we have 2 rows. So this is your first row. This is your first row, while this is your second row. And since we have 2 columns, this will be our first column, and this also will be the second column. So if you're saying a matrix is represented in 2 by 2 order, that means you have 2 rows by 2 columns, or 2 rows multiplied by 2 columns. Now, what if you're giving a matrix in, let's say, 3 by 4? If you have 3 by 4 as the order, that means this is what? 3 rows. 3 rows by what? 4 columns. You get, this is 3 rows by 4 columns. So you want to do the matrix, you want to bring out the matrix, for example. Remember, you're going to have 4 columns. Take note of that. So you can have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, GKL. Now, this thing that I just formed now is called the 3 by 4, because if you observe, we say 3 rows. This is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the last row. Now 4 columns. This is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column, and this is the last column. So you see, the order of matrix is very important. I would say the order of matrix is a way by which the rows and the columns are being arranged. Just as we say, is represented by n rows by n columns. You get? And this is how to represent the order of a matrix. Or this is this is just what you need to know when you're talking about the order of a matrix. Now, if you find this video interesting, do not hesitate. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to share this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.